how did you get involved with the film? What spoke to you about it?
Well, David Ellison at Skydance had this amazing script. He sent it over to my manager. She read it. She loved it. Any job that I do goes through her. She was like, this might be a good one. Why don't we go meet them? We met them. I read it and I was like, wow, this is original IP. That's cool. It's not based on a comic book or a chain restaurant or a pair of shoes or whatever, Reach, no toy brand. It's just an original story. And it's got huge scope. This is a big movie. It's a big budget movie. Are you guys sure you want to do this? And they said, if you'll do it with us, we'll do it. And so it was go.
I mean, and this is Chris McKay's first full feature live action.
Yes.
So what was working on that like? I know that you guys knew each other before, I believe, but what did he bring to the table with that experience?
Well, I mean, he's got a great knowledge of film. He's a really good director. I think the very best directors are a bit subdued in their knowledge. They don't lead with everything they know about movies, but they have that as a tool. I mean, he's really smart. He's really well versed. He has a clear vision of what he wants. He's got a great attitude. He doesn't raise his voice and get angry and boss people around. I think like the best to test a director, you have to see them at their worst. And because that moment comes on every movie, and him at his worst is still very great. He's still present. He's listening. He doesn't lose patience. He doesn't lose focus. He does a great job. And so to go from someone who worked extensively in animation, it's a really natural step for him to come to a film like this. There are several layers of animation in a film like this, and a film like this requires extensive pre-visualization animatic shots to set up these action sequences so you can get them done on time, on budget, and he did a great job with that. He'd come in really prepared. He's like, this is what I want it to look like, and that makes it really easy on us as the actors to know exactly what piece of that previs you're recreating. Previs is really important. James Gunn is a big proponent of it. Chris McKay used it. I'm a big fan of pre-visualizing everything. Because you can get all your editing done in the previs. You're not like sending yourself raw material that you don't need in the edit. And on top of that, he's really collaborative. So he would allow for me to have my kind of crazy harebrained ideas. And if I throw out 10 ideas and one of them is great, it might make it into the movie. The other 9 will be on the editing room floor, but he at least gives me the space to do that, which fulfills me and makes me feel heard. And all the while, even if it was annoying to him, he never let me know, which was really nice. And he just did a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, obviously you're kind of already speaking like it, but could you speak a little bit to your experience on this film as an executive producer? Because obviously that brings on a whole separate part and title to your experience on it.
Yeah, there's the title of executive producer can really mean, it can mean a lot. It can be meaningless, or it can mean a lot depending on how much responsibility a person is willing to take on moving into that role. For me, I was able to be part of the casting process, which was really fun for me, having been a person who auditioned for everything for 20 years to now be on the other side of that was really a kind of a full circle moment. In various iterations of the script, going from what it was originally to what it needed to be to justify this big budget and to be a big commercial movie. I was helpful in that, and they would listen to my input, not just as the actor, but also as somebody who was a producer on this thing. And, just in terms of, I think I've always had, especially since I've been in the position of being number one on the call sheet on some of these films, I've always taken on the responsibility of being kind of like the team captain. I was an athlete in school, and I was captain of the wrestling team or the football team or the track team. And I always really liked that responsibility. I've always imagined myself in that capacity. And so having the title go along with it is good, because it gives me a little extra juice to actually walk into that role. And there are a lot of great young up and coming actors in this film. And so stepping into it and knowing that I had kind of like the authority to be a leader for them in to some capacity. It was a responsibility that I didn't just like let slip away. I've been on a lot of films where the person who was sitting at number one on the call sheet just hung out in their trailer, and when they showed up, they'd be grumpy and it ruined the day for everyone. So I've vowed to myself that I would never be like that. And I try as I might. Sometimes I probably still am, but I try not to be like that. And this was an opportunity to kind of step into that position of leadership on set. And I really relish that.